Hey, educational leaders. Recording some content because it's been so busy, and with Thanksgiving coming up, I won't have a lot of time to do Facebook Lives. But today, today's topic is called, Do You Know Your Triggers? So if you know anything about me, or you've learned anything about me over the last couple of months on this page, it's that self-care is extremely important to me, and for me to teach you guys about self-care. So I want to tell you a story about something that happened to me recently, and I want you to think about, do you know your triggers? So there's a couple stories. My daughter was going to do a recorded audition for Stranger Things for a casting call. So Saturday was the day we were going to her acting coach, and the acting coach was going to, okay, when I say acting coach, I mean like somebody in the community that we've worked with who was helping us. It's not like she goes to school for acting or anything. But Saturday was the day that he was going to film it. So now I'm now getting nervous and a little anxious, and Juliet's dragging her feet, and I need to brush her hair and get the knots out, and her friend's over and all this type of stuff. So we get in the car and I'm like, now we're gonna be late, now we're gonna be late. And I got to a stop sign and I said, okay, I'm really anxious right now. I said this out loud in front of Juliet and her best friend Zion. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm being picky. Not picky, but I was like being really, I don't know. I was kind of being, I don't know, I call myself nasty mom or something like that. It was mild, but I could feel it. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take 3 deep breaths right now. And I took 3 deep breaths. I said to the girls, I'm gonna take 3 deep breaths to reset myself. And I did, and it was like so much better. And I'm proud of myself because what I said to Juliet is, I hate being late. Whenever I feel like I'm gonna be late, it really stresses me out. And then I took the 3 steps. So when I'm rushing for something or doing something like that, it makes me anxious. So that was a good example of how I fixed it. Let me tell you an example about how I didn't fix it. We were flying home from St. Lucia. We got to the airport, and it turns out our flight was 30 minutes sooner than my husband thought. So now we have to rush through the airport. It's a very small airport. They have one x-ray machine. So the woman from American gets us to the front of the line. Then we have to show passports, and I say to the passport lady, there's like 30 people in front of us. To the passport lady, our flight is boarding right now. Should we stay on this line? So they, everyone's moving us. We get to the gate and we're like zone 5 for boarding, and they're already on zone 7 or something. So I'm like, we're boarding. And I said to Craig, we carry bottles for water because on the flights these days, they don't do service. So I say to Craig, my husband, we don't even have any water. I was like, I'm taking the kids on the flight. And I'm like nasty. I'm getting the kids on the plane. Go get water. So he's looking around. He's like, I don't see a water fountain. I said, for God's sakes, just buy water. And the kid's like, no, don't leave, Daddy. I was like, Daddy's fine. We get on the plane now. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Because I was so heightened and I didn't take care of myself with, if you take deep breaths, it resets your sympathetic nervous system. I get on the plane, I get the kids in their seats, I try to get stuff in the overhead, I hit my head twice, like just whatever. Craig gets on the plane, I'm nasty to him. I think to myself, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I put my music on, I took a couple deep breaths, and I reset. But my lesson to you is, don't wait till it gets so bad to reset. Know your triggers. Know those feelings inside of you. For me, it's like butterflies in the stomach, and not in a good way. Not like when you're looking excited for something. It's that nervousness in my stomach that starts to come up to my chest and pressure. And when those things happen, that's when you need to act. Not stopping it and just continuing it. If you don't stop it and reset yourself, you're going to get to be like me on the plane, where I was nasty and I'm hitting my head and I can't, and when you're stressed, you don't function cognitively at your best. So it makes sense to take a deep breath, reset yourself, because it's also going to reset you cognitively. I was talking to somebody at the airport, and she said, well, we say back here that when people go on vacation, they leave their brain at home. And I said to her, you know what it is? It's the stress of traveling. It's the stress of doing something different. And when you're stressed out, you don't think right. Cognitively, you're not there. So my call to action for you today is, Think about the last time that you were stressed and you overreacted. What was it that caused you to be there? How did it feel in your body? And what can you do next time that you feel that? Because you really need to woosah, whatever it is that's going to take you to that place. Usually it's 5 deep breaths, 3 to 5 deep breaths, and you're going to get yourself back together. And if you read the article that I posted, my aunt will say, it's not a stick in the eye. She also says, it's not a spot on your liver, but nothing is a stick in the eye. So it's really important that you identify what your triggers are and absolutely figure out what it is that's going to recenter you. This will help you. It will help all of those in your family. It'll help anyone you interact with. And most importantly, it will help you as a leader. Have a great day.